What's up guys, hope you're doing well. Today we'll have another look into the Zano price chart as we have some updates on our $18.87 price target. We recently made a very strong bounce, and with this bounce we have basically outperformed most other cryptos. And also with this bounce, we got back into our rectangle right here, back into our price target. But we should not forget that there is a price invalidation and a time invalidation. The price invalidation in this case was at this level, so basically at the lower end of this range right here. Let's delete the range to see this. This one right here, this was the price invalidation level, so we have not come close to that. We have just touched the support level right here, but the time invalidation is basically here. So when the second half of the rectangle is starting, and that means that we have a 90% likelihood that we are not hitting our price target if we are not back in the rectangle, or in general, if we are not in the rectangle once the second half is starting. But there is an exception, and that is that in case the time window is long, so in this case we are talking about, this is basically 2.5 months, and normally we can give an extension of maximum 2 days per month. So that means we would talk about 5 days extension right here. And here we basically, this was the day when we needed to be back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means we are basically 2 days late to reactivate the price target. But in this case, I would still say that this is still active because we made a very strong move into this right here. Also, at the same time, if we are calling for this to remain active, we also need to give an extension of, we are talking about 7 days. So that means this normally is the 29th of October. That means we are talking about the 5th. I think the 4th of November. This is basically the extension that we are giving. And that means that here potentially we will reach this price target. So with this, we still have a 70% likelihood of that we are reaching the price target within the time window. That means right now with the extension until the 4th of November. So that means we are back on track. And as I said, with this move right here, we have basically outperformed the whole market. But also we should not only take a look into the bullish side, but also in the bearish side, and also what's currently in the chart. You may remember that here for a very long time, we have developed this ascending triangle right here, where we are basically bouncing around until August, the end of August. Then we actually managed to leave this one right here, but then we quickly got back in here. Also almost got back to the bottom right here, and right now you can see we have managed to break the first resistance level right here, this horizontal resistance. We have broken this, but then we technically we slightly closed a little bit above this ascending triangle right here. But today it seems like that we are getting rejected, so we actually closed slightly above this, get the rejection, and currently today we have made a retest of this level. And right now we need to see, okay, will we move higher from here? I think also a lot of this is depending on Bitcoin. You know that in the last update I said that I'm taking a more cautious stand because in Bitcoin we have dropped below the 112k level. But you can see this right here. Basically on the 28th, so 2 days ago, we had the first, let me zoom in a little bit. We already had the first candle close above the 112k level, but yesterday it was really clear. We had a very strong candle, a lot of momentum, and that is then also where we had a very nice day in Zano. Zano had about 20%, and right now we are basically doing the same as in Bitcoin. So that means if another move to the upside is coming in Bitcoin, potentially we will also see this in Zano, but also we should not forget that we are still right in front of our main resistance zone, this one right here. Let me mark this. Yeah, this one right here, and that is also the resistance zone from the last all-time high. And with the last attempt, we didn't manage to break higher and also to get to our price target, to activate the next price target that then will be much higher than this one right here. So we are still waiting for this, and there's a lot of resistance in the way. And also what would be nice to see is that if we take a look right here into the RSI, it would be nice if we are seeing that we are gaining some more momentum until we are back in this area right here. So we can really see that the bulls are back in control, and also have the strength to push the price higher, to make a new all-time high, to reach this price target, and then also to activate the next price target. So that is currently where the likelihood is, 70% likelihood of this scenario. But then also let's have a quick look into the downside, because what we do not want to see, or what would invalidate this scenario, is if we would, basically if we would do right here a move. This would not be dramatic, even if we are closing here below this resistance level. Of course, this is the first warning sign, but what we not want to see, and what would invalidate this bullish thesis that I have just talked about, is if we are dropping back here below the breakout level. If we are dropping below this and have a daily candle close below this, then 90% likelihood that we are not going to this price target here within this time window. So then likely we will do this later, but not until the 4th of November. So therefore what we really want to see is that we are always closing above $12.90, let's say 92. And in the best case, we want also to see that we are closing here above this. Right now it's support, that we are closing above this support, because if we are right now doing something like this right here, it is also getting more and more unlikely that we are hitting the price target, because then our time is running out. So therefore it would be very nice to see some continuation, and that we are making the next move higher, breaking this high, and then also getting into our main battle zone to see how the price will behave right here. And that is, I think that is the level where the next decision will be made, if we are breaking this, if we are making a new all-time high, or if we get another rejection. As I said, as it looks right now, 70% likelihood that we are going with the bullish case. But in case there are any updates, also in case there are any updates in Bitcoin that we are falling back below the 112k level, which is then also shifting the perspective on the altcoin market, that I will upload a new video. So make sure to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss this. Also, in case you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments. That's it for this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.